Okay, thank you, Philip. Indeed, in retrospect, we should have started with the history in the beginning of this forum in this afternoon, because most topics we would like to touch upon have been touched upon already. So we skipped much of our history. We spent 10 minutes per president, and apparently there are 8 presidents present, so we would have 80 minutes, but we skip it now to a few minutes. We condense it. I'm talking with both Francesco Benigni on my right hand, involved in Ecla already for a very, very, very long time, and you have been the first professional general manager from April 2007 till June 2009. Francesco wrote an extensive history of Ecla to be found on our website with the help of the executive board, with the help of former presidents and former secretary generals as being present here. Anne Scheltema Beduin. So read it in your free time in the weekend. On my left-hand side is the former president Bengt Gustafson, also involved for a very long time in Ecla. And he's taking care of Securitas, advisor to Securitas in Stockholm. He's Swedish, and Francesco is Italian, of course. I understand that today the government, at least the parliament of Italy, they run away out of the parliament. So I don't know whether if you go back you still have a government over there. Caro Francesco, what we didn't touch upon is before the creation of Ecla in 1983, there were also some movements by several countries here in Europe. What sort of contacts there were before the official creation, the preceding movements? Can you tell something about it?
Yeah, let me start by saying that I would like to be a bit presumptuous tonight, a bit presumptuous tonight, by telling that when in the end of the 70s of the last centuries, together with other colleagues in Italy and in other countries in Europe, we started to discuss the company lawyers' activity, and we had a dream that one day this was recognized and accepted throughout Europe as a profession, as a full profession. And that was the way it all started. In fact, the Belgian organization of company lawyers in 1980 took the initiative of contacting other organizations already formed, namely in the Netherlands, in France, in Italy, in England and Wales, and in Germany. And so we started to talk, to meet, and exchanging back practices and so on and so forth. And we soon realized that the legal status was not the same in Europe, was very different. In some countries, the company lawyers could be admitted to the bar or to the law society. And in other countries, that was not the case, and that it was a tough time. And let me say that the first president of Ecla, when Ecla was formed in 1983, right after the famous AM and S case, the first case decided on the legal privilege against the company lawyers. The first president was Dr. Walter Kolmenbach, also author of a very nice Lander book in 1979 on the company law legal department. He traced the route of Ecla to be followed in the future, which was the recognition and the acceptance of the profession of company lawyer throughout Europe. So if we are here today, that means that we have made some progress.
Thank you very much, Francesco. We skip everything about legal privilege because we are a little bit fed up with legal privilege, maybe for today at least. Bengt, in your term, you made Ecla a little bit more visible and attractive, and also maybe a little bit more democratic. Apart from that, you are maybe a sort of Willy Brandt. You opened the world to the Eastern European part of Europe. and some Marina, as an example of Croatia, some association joined Ecla. How did you do that exactly? What was the approach to Eastern Europe after Gorbachev?
Yeah, after Gorbachev. Well, any comparison with me and Willy Brandt is not fair to him. So I'll leave that. Anyway, no, what we saw when the Eastern countries were freed, if I may use that word, we saw a need for European way of thinking to be exported to these countries. We knew, and we found out that USAID had people stationed in these countries trying to impose the US legal system into these countries. And in some places they did succeed. So nevertheless, we found out that we had already in 1999, we had, let me see, I'll put that paper away, Czech Republic was a member, and then Estonia in 2000, Poland and Bulgaria in 2000 and 2001, and which was followed on in years, sorry about my memory, Croatia and Portugal and Macedonia. Portugal is not East. And so the primary interest was to make sure that a homogeneous legal system would be all over Europe, including East Europe. And how did we do it? Well, we first of all sent out questions and asking them, what do you and all other members in Ecla, what do you want Ecla to deal with? So we got a lot of answers, and we put that together, which formed a new program where we said, okay, we understand this is important for you, and this is what we will work with. So based on that, we also visited all of you, and we came to the conclusion that if we can show that you are happy, we will be able to attract other Eastern European countries, and we have. So that's probably the answer, the long answer to your question.
Okay. Thank you very much. The President is back. That was the history. Thank you both for all your efforts for the history. It's not in vain, because the long story is on the website. So you can read it quietly. I had an auto interview with myself about the future. That's a long piece of text, but maybe it suffices that we work under our new energetic president. And if you want to know what comes out of it, you have to follow the steps forward of Ecla. I wish you all the success, Philip, for the near future. And that's the rounding off, I think, of the history and a little bit of the future of Ecla. Long live Ecla. Viva Ecla.